We are on the brink of a massive bull market in crypto, and most people cannot see what is coming. People are distracted by short-term timeframes in Bitcoin price movement, and this is the difference between experienced traders and beginner traders. What is happening with Grayscale is historic. As you know, the SEC has lost the case against Grayscale. The SEC was attempting to block a Bitcoin ETF, but now the courts are siding with crypto. But as we know, BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, is applying for a Bitcoin ETF, but new information has just been released, and it is sending shockwaves through the crypto community. In this video, I will be giving you the latest inside scoop, as well as telling you how we are on the brink of a massive bull market. So, what are the latest BlackRock actions in crypto? And when can we expect to see Bitcoin and other crypto going up in price? Also, just before we go any further, this channel has a daily giveaway of 1 million Shiba tokens. To enter, all you have to do is be subscribed to this channel, like this video, and comment #Shiba Inu. Good luck. Bitcoin ETF likely to secure approval. 75% chance in 2023, 95% by 2024. Bitcoin price eyes $150,000 high. Bitcoin ETF favorable tides. Grayscale's courtroom feat shifts the odds. The landscape for Bitcoin exchange-traded funds has experienced a tectonic shift following a landmark legal decision involving Grayscale and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Bloomberg's senior ETF analyst Eric Balchunas and his colleague James Seyffart have revised their forecast, stating there is now a 75% chance that a spot Bitcoin ETF will get the nod from the SEC by the close of 2023. Unpacking Grayscale's ripple effect. In a groundbreaking case, the United States Court of Appeals Circuit unanimously invalidated the SEC's reasons for obstructing Grayscale's efforts to convert its Bitcoin trust into a spot ETF. The court's decisive ruling stated that the SEC's actions were arbitrary and capricious, effectively cornering the regulatory body into a difficult position for further ETF denials. This unanimity has accelerated the projected chances of approval from a previous 65% to the current 75%. Seyffart has gone so far as to predict a 95% chance of approval by Q4 of 2024, essentially considering it a done deal. In the arcane regulatory landscape of cryptocurrency, the court's decision offers a substantive precedent. Balchunas has opined that any further denial from the SEC in the wake of this loss would be politically untenable, amplifying the pressure on the agency as they approach imminent deadlines. The next critical juncture for the SEC lies just around the corner. 7 major Bitcoin spot ETF applications from firms like Bitwise, BlackRock, Van Eyck, Fidelity, Invesco, WisdomTree, and Valkyrie are on the cusp of their first deadline decisions by the SEC, although Balchunas speculates that these applications could face delays. The momentum of Grayscale's victory could herald a surprise wave of approvals. The clock is ticking. Upcoming SEC deadlines. The SEC operates under a standard review period of 240 days for ETF proposals, with specific decision deadlines usually occurring at 4 to 5, 60, and 90-day intervals within that time frame. With the clock ticking, Balchunas and Seyffart anticipate delay orders as the regulatory body recalibrates its strategy post-Grayscale. However, the overwhelming sentiment among industry experts is leaning towards a favorable turn of events for Bitcoin ETF approvals, especially given the court's unequivocal stance. The court's ruling has not only altered the statistical probability, but has also sparked a strategic conundrum for the SEC. The regulatory body now faces a dilemma. It can either maintain its obstinate stance at the risk of appearing arbitrary or pivot in the direction that recent legal precedent and market sentiment clearly suggest. Thus, while the timeline for the ETF approvals may still be uncertain, the scales are tipping increasingly in favor of a regulatory thumbs up, ushering in a new era for Bitcoin and its entry into mainstream financial markets. But what does a BlackRock ETF actually mean for crypto? Keep watching to find out. BlackRock shocked the financial world when it filed for the iShares Bitcoin Trust on June 15, becoming the most prominent filer for a spot Bitcoin ETF after years of rejection of the strategy by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The surprised filing came on the heels of the SEC's lawsuit against Coinbase and Binance, making the timing in BlackRock's partnership with Coinbase and the filing even more odd. BlackRock would make Bitcoin legitimate. As the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock would immediately give legitimacy to the Bitcoin market in need of it. Between the SEC's crackdown in high-fee, imperfect Bitcoin ETF currently on the market, an iShares spot Bitcoin ETF would be a welcome facelift. Whether that means investors should buy this fund should it hit the market is another question. Bitcoin is highly volatile, and its future is uncertain. There's not a fundamental value to lean on for investors, so this consideration should outweigh all others, including fund structure. Aside from investment merit, it's worth understanding where a spot Bitcoin ETF would fit in with other offerings available in the US currently. The Bitcoin ETF market is composed of three types of funds: grant or trusts, futures-based ETF, and Bitcoin-adjacent equity funds. A spot Bitcoin ETF, like the one BlackRock is proposing, would create a fourth bucket because it doesn't fit in the others, who are BlackRock's competitors in the Bitcoin space. Currently, the largest Bitcoin offering in the US is Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, ticker GBTC. It operates more like a closed-end fund than an ETF, meaning investors have faced large premiums and discounts in its price versus NAV, which have nothing to do with Bitcoin. The iShares Bitcoin Trust would have continuous offerings like other ETF, meaning authorized participants would be able to create and redeem shares at NAV at any time. This would help keep the ETF price in line with its NAV. Grayscale currently doesn't allow redemptions, so investors' only option is to sell at the prevailing price, which is currently heavily discounted. How will BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF work? Futures-based Bitcoin ETF do a better job of tracking Bitcoin's price, but they also introduce other differences from holding Bitcoin. First, the intention of these funds is to hold the front-month futures contracts. But futures contracts expire. Each month, the portfolio managers must roll into the next month's futures contract, often at a slightly higher price. This creates an added cost for the fund that a spot Bitcoin ETF wouldn't incur. The exchange that lists Bitcoin futures, the CME, also imposes position limits to avoid any one firm from controlling too much of the market. Should that occur, as it did in 2021 when ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, ticker BITO, launched, the portfolio managers had to move further out on the futures curve by buying longer-dated futures contracts. A rule of thumb is the longer a futures contract has until expiration, the less closely it will track the asset spot market. In terms of its ability to track the price of Bitcoin, a spot Bitcoin ETF, like the one proposed by BlackRock, would clearly be an upgrade over currently available options. It would likely also come with lower fees. Grayscale charges a 2% fee while BITO charges 95 basis points, and this is one cause for investors that's highly likely to improve should BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF come to market. Why is BlackRock filing a Bitcoin ETF now? The ultimate question is why now for BlackRock's filing? There have been over 30 past filings for spot Bitcoin ETF, but this is BlackRock's first. Perhaps BlackRock thinks it has the right approach to surveillance to quell the SEC's concern over manipulation of the Bitcoin market. We will all stay tuned to find out. What is your opinion on all the news spoken about in this video? Let me know in the comments below. Also, please let me know what cryptocurrencies you are holding at the moment. But this isn't all the latest news about crypto, as a lot of other bug events have happened over the past 24 hours. To find out more about them, then be sure to check out the video on screen now.